up, guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle. Today, I've got another PU match here. This is a new team that I threw together. I really just kind of wanted to try out Haydunnsparce along with Rig. Two things I haven't really used in a long time, so I tossed this team together just to kind of see how it would do. But yeah, this is against Ryan, and I was actually having a hard time trying to find a battle this day, so this was actually the only one I was able to get. Not a lot of people are playing PU on Wi-Fi lately. I know it is kind of an obscure tier with some random-ass Pokemon, but I did end up getting this one, and this was the first match I had with this team, so let's go ahead and jump right into it and see how this goes. Alright, so from the looks of it, I'm expecting him to want to lead off with that Cradilly, so I'm just going to toss out my Optimus Prime just to get that Stealth Rock up, as he ends up leading off with his Meowstic, so I'm figuring this thing's probably going to be double screens like they usually are, and that's not too big of a deal here, so I'm just going to go ahead and set up my Stealth Rock as this thing sets up a nice little Reflect there, so that is going to be kind of annoying to work around. The dual screens are, you know, pretty damn effective, especially in PU here, and this team doesn't have that much damage output, so I gotta work around that. So now he's gonna set up that light screen. I'm assuming he is gonna be like Clay, so those are gonna hang around for a while as I just hit this thing with a Toxic, because I don't really have much to do to this thing since that reflects up. I'm not gonna be able to do too much damage, and I just felt like getting the Toxic up. So this thing really has no business staying in against me. He got his screens up, and I am going to expect a switch here. So I'm going to go for another Toxic as he ends up bringing in the Electivire. So that's pretty good. I'm able to get the Toxic off on this thing, and already poisoned too. So things are looking pretty solid here, as I know that I can take an Earthquake from this thing, and then I can fire one off in return. I kind of would have thought he was going to go into the Ludicolo as an answer for Aggron, but I guess Earthquake from Electivire is going to do a lot of damage still, so he stays in. He is going to go for that, and I am able to take it because I'm both sturdy and I'm max defense, so I am able to live that with 57 HP, and this allows me to fire off an Earthquake of my own, which shouldn't kill this thing with the Reflect Up, but I get a critical hit, so that is quite unfortunate. And down goes the Electivire, but that's good for me, so I'm kind of just burning through these screen turns here. Optimus is over here eating some leftovers, and that was a pretty unfortunate crit there. But now he gets a free switch, and he decides to go into the Ludicolo, which I thought he would have brought in the first place, but this dude's dancing over here, ready to have a freaking fiesta, and I'm just going to switch right into my Sableye. So this thing ends up going for the Rain Dance. It's interesting seeing these things on teams that aren't necessarily, you know, rain teams, but he has Rain Dance on his own, so he sets that up, and he's still over there grooving. So at this point, he's going to go for a Scald. With that thing boosted in the rain plus the Life Orb, it is going to do a whole bunch of damage, and it gets the burn. So that is quite unfortunate, as I'm able to go for a knockoff here. I'm going to get rid of that Life Orb, and as I'm looking at it, since he doesn't have that Life Orb anymore, after a recover, I will definitely be able to take another one, so I'm going to go ahead and just stay in here, go for a recover, and my plan here is to essentially just kind of stall out rain turns. This Ludicolo is actually quite a problem to my team. If he doesn't have that Swift Swim, as long as the rain's up, this thing is pretty damn scary. So since he doesn't have the Life Orb, he's not able to take me out there, and honestly, I'm going to be just kind of a classic annoying Sableye here and just continue going for the recover and wait for these rain turns to kind of wear off, because it's going to make it so once this thing dies, I can come in with a revenge kill. So he's just going to throw some more hot water at me. I'm living it with 13 HP, and luckily I got them leftovers, so the burn isn't able to do too much. And since they nerfed burn, it only does about 8 HP, which is kind of funny. But the Reflect wears off, which is nice, so my plan is going pretty nicely here, just stalling out, honestly. Fucking Stall-eye, the Sableye here is putting in that work. So I know that the rain is going to wear off this turn, so I was really hoping to die. So I lived that with 2 HP, and then after my leftover recovery, unfortunately the burn is not going to be able to do enough. So that kind of sucks. I was really worried about this thing going for another Rain Dance, but he's actually just going to finish me off with a Scald here. So down goes Sableye, but I kind of really did my thing. I got rid of those screens, I got rid of the rain, and I only had to pay the price of my special defense wall. So now I'm going to switch into my Lil Mouth.
I like to eat you with my little mouth too.
And I feel like this is a pretty good opportunity for me to start setting up some Calm Minds here. I know that this thing doesn't have its Life Orb anymore, and I can take a Scald even in the rain here. So he is going to set up that Rain Dance yet again, as I'm going to go for the Calm Mind here. Rig is honestly something that nobody ever uses, so I felt like I would toss this guy on the team and just kind of, you know, see what I could make happen. I really like Rig though. He's pretty badass. So I get the Calm Mind up, and then the Scald happens, and I'm able to take just over half from that. But I can fire off a Psyshock, and that is going to take care of the Ludicolo. So I ate him with my little mouth too. Look at that! Look at his weird ass tail just over there. Just he doesn't even know what the hell's going on. Isn't there something in the Pokedex about like that thing having a brain or something? I don't know. But so in comes the freaking ice coffee table Pokemon, and I'm just gonna go for a Dazzling Gleam. Don't want to hit it with a Psy Shock, so I can get as much damage as I can with Dazzling Gleam. And I was kind of thinking that there was a chance that I could live an Avalanche, but unfortunately that is gonna take me out. So down goes the Giraffe. But this does allow me to switch into my Pyroar here, so I'm just going to go right for the Flamethrower. I know that the rain is up, I probably shouldn't have gone for that, but he's going to switch right into the Cradilly. Stole my freaking nickname as Cradillo comes out here nice and shiny, and the Flamethrower in the rain is not going to do, you know, a whole lot to this thing. So as I'm looking at my team here, I figure that I don't really know what kind of Cradilly this thing is, but I'm expecting it to probably set up Stealth Rock, so I'm going to switch into my Aggron here, as I do want to get a Toxic off on this thing. Cradilly does cause a lot of problems to my team, so he actually shows me that he's a barrier set, and that is pretty damn scary because he's going to get the sharp increase on the defense, as I am pretty worried about that, but I do have Toxic, so as long as he doesn't switch into that Meowstic, who is already poisoned, we should be alright, but I'm expecting him to stay in because he got that barrier, so I just go for the Toxic here, and that is going to be really nice because now this thing is pretty much limited on how long it can stay in here. I would be pretty walled by this thing if I wasn't able to get a Toxic off. But a Giga Drain is luckily actually not able to take me out. I mean, I'm guessing he probably expected that to knock out Optimus, but you don't kill a Prime that easily. You know, let's be real. Freaking Cradilly does not have too much special attack, so luckily I'm able to take that. And at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and go for a Heavy Slam, get as much damage as I can before I go down. It still actually does a lot of damage there, even with the plus 3 from the barrier. So one more Giga Drain is going to take care of Optimus, and that is fine because this is a great opportunity for me to get a free switch into the beast himself, the freaking Haydunnsparce. So Cradilly's over there eating leftovers and then getting hurt by poison. It's below half already. I know these things get access to recover, but I'm not worried about it because of the poison. So I'm going to switch into the Haydunnsparce and let the magic happen. So I go for a Coil here. I am going to need quite a bit of attack if I want to do anything to this Cradilly. My only attacking move is Headbutt on this thing. And I know that I can take Giga Drains though, because I am, I believe, max HP. So I am able to take that nicely. And with the leftovers, it's looking like I can take a whole bunch of those. Plus, I do have Roost. So I've got reliable recovery, and I'm really just hoping that freaking Haydunnsparce can make something happen here. If you don't know, Haydunnsparce has the ability Serene Grace, so that increases the chances of flinches happening from Headbutt, and he does have Glare. So essentially what this thing does is it comes in here, it coils up to get its attack really high along with its defense. It's got HP investment so it can take attacks, and then essentially I just pretty much paralyze things and then try to Headbutt flinch them to their death. So I'm over here eating some leftovers as that thing goes for another barrier, but that is fine. Haydunnsparce does really not care. As long as I'm not taking damage, this thing is going to die to its poison pretty soon here, so I'm just going to continue to coil. I'm just a weird-ass freaking snake larva-looking thing with some weird-ass wings. I don't know what Haydunnsparce is supposed to be, but he's adorable, and I love him. So another Giga Drain happens. It is going to put me at about half, and I figure I don't really need to attack this thing, seeing as the Toxic is really racking up here. Haydunnsparce can pretty much just hang out, flap his little ass wings, and go for a Roost, even though I wouldn't even be able to fly with these little ass wings. I don't know how I get Roost. I mean, I'm on the ground all the time anyway, but I do go for that. It's going to set me back to full, as this thing is going to hit me with another Giga Drain. I kind of expected this thing to have Toxic, which would have probably been pretty useful against Haydunnsparce here, seeing as I'm pretty much just staying in here for days, and I'm looking like a pretty big threat now that I got them boosts. So after one more leftover recovery, it's looking like Cradilly is going to be close to going down from this poison damage, and I do actually outspeed, which is kind of funny, so I go for a Headbutt here, hoping that it's going to knock it out, but with them defense boost, it's not going to be able to do it with a not very effective hit. But I do get the flinch though, and honestly, Haydunnsparce with Serene Grace gets the flinch like literally 9 out of 10 times, and it's pretty damn frustrating. But what are you going to do? Haydunnsparce is just a beast. So that thing is going to go down to its poison. I'm really glad that I was able to have Toxic, because I probably would not have been able to deal with that thing very well. I did have Basculin with Superpower, but that was my only other thing. But now he goes into the Wheezing. He figures that this thing, I'm not going to be able to do too much damage to it. I mean, come on, I'm a Haydunnsparce. I only have a Headbutt, and that thing's defensive as hell. So I go for a Glare. Got to get that base para on this thing, as he's going to hit me with a Sludge Bomb. And it's looking like that does a whole lot of damage. I was kind of expecting this thing to go for Will-O-Wisp. It seems like that would be the safer play to get on Haydunnsparce here, but he probably doesn't think that I'll be able to do much damage anyway. But little does he know, Haydunnsparce doesn't need damage because of that freaking Serene Grace. So I go for a roost there. It's going to put me back at pretty much full HP as he goes for another sludge bomb, and then after this leftover recovery, it's looking like I can take at least one more if he does break through the paralysis, but this thing's at full health and I really got to start doing some damage. So I go for the headbutt here, and it is actually going to do a decent chunk, and I get the flinch, of course, because, you know, when do I not get the flinch? Fucking Haydunnsparce does not play any games, the flinch master. As this thing does have black sludge, and it's going to take me a good handful of headbutts to go, but I go for another one, and Serene Grace happens again. I get the flinch, and now it's looking like only one more headbutt is going to be able to do the trick here against Wheezing. It looks like I got actually max damage on that last one, but I am going to outspeed because the para and one more headbutt is going to take care of the Wheezing. So I just three-shotted a fucking Wheezing, and I'm pretty glad that he didn't end up going for Will-O-Wisp. I guess I probably maybe still would have been okay even with the Will-O-Wisp, but I would have had to rely on some good paras. So that's pretty annoying. I know that luck really played a large role in that against that Wheezing, but the flinches are kind of bound to happen. So now he brings on the Meow Stick, and it's just going to go for a Thunder Wave just to try to stop me in my tracks, but Haydunnsparce, like I said, does not give a shit. And a headbutt is going to be a nice little 2-hit KO against this thing, and I'm at enough health here to be able to take pretty much any attack this thing wants to throw at me. So, in his last ditch effort, he's just going to go for a Psychic, try to get as much as possible, but Haydunnsparce is a fucking thick-ass beast, and I do actually get the special defense drop, but that does not matter because one more headbutt is going to take this thing out. I got lucky in not getting paralyzed there, but whenever you're using a Haydunnsparce, I mean, you gotta rely on getting lucky. So I guess that kind of works out. As now his last Pokemon is gonna be this Avalugg, and after the Stealth Rock damage, it's not gonna stand a chance. I actually outspeeded even being paralyzed, which I thought was kind of wild there. How slow is this fucking coffee table? But yeah, Headbutt takes that thing out, and Haydunnsparce just beasted it. That's like the first time in a while I've got Haydunnsparce to do anything. I realized that not the best battle, or, you know, I got really lucky, but overall I still thought that was pretty entertaining. Seeing Haydunnsparce kind of do some stuff, and Girafarig got a kill, so things went kind of according to plan there. So go ahead and like this video if you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe for some more Wi-Fi battles. Peace out.